Well, I talk a lot of different ways about identity, but one of the things that I really believe is that that's the governor on your life, on your happiness, on your peace, wealth, abundance, relationships, is this identity you have. And your identity is really the thoughts, concepts, and beliefs that you hold to be most true about you. And I opened up today talking about temperature. It's 109 degrees outside. Luckily for me, there's a thermostat right over there that is set at 74 degrees right now. And so that thermostat regulates the temperature of this room. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. It regulates the temperature. And so it's not outside conditions that dictate the quality of our life. It's 109 degrees outside. In your life, if you're a 75 degree, or let's just say of happiness, and life starts to heat up, you've all had this happen. You're happier, you've got better relationships, things are going well in business. What happens is if you start getting 90, 95 degrees of happiness and bliss, but you're a 75 degreer inside identity-wise, you find a way to turn the air condition of your life back down again to get yourself back to that 74, 75 degrees again. That happens in money. You know, business is going well, but you're a 75 degree in your thermostat setting. You got 90 degrees worth of happiness or finances, you cool it back down. The reverse is also true. If it gets really, really cold, you find a way to heat it back, life back up about to where you deserve it. This identity is really powerful because I look at everything, Maria, through identity. I look at our country, and our country needs an identity shift right now. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to have some short-term changes, and we'll find a way to turn the air conditioner back on and get us right back where we've always been again. One of the things that's most encouraging for me is to see the wide variety of people that are at these protests, that are locking arms, that are making posts. That tells me maybe as a country, we're having an identity change. An identity change for an individual or a group is a real change. And so I'm constantly working on changing my thermostat setting, getting it higher and higher and higher. That changes the external results of your life. And so for me, that's usually through association.
I want to say a word for you to remember also, because you don't do this. It's called racial gaslighting. It's by New Crusade. That's when you tell a person, basically you're telling them to hush up, to not speak about their experience, to not let them be who they are. They can say things like, well, James, you sure it was racism? I don't know. I think maybe you're seeing it the wrong way, or maybe you're seeing it and you should see it the other way. I was discriminated against at a organizing job, actually. The boyfriend of my client said some nasty words about me and didn't want me touching his stuff. And everybody kept saying, I feel bad for her. You should understand what she's going through. I was discriminated against and called derogatory names to my face. So that's racial gaslighting. It's like we're crazy. They do it to women. He called you honey and doll, but he's your boss. He just was really friendly with you. Why do you think it's inappropriate? Just he likes you. So he said you have nice boobs. Well, why are you upset about that? Because you're at work? You have nice boobs in that dress. It's that kind of thing of shutting you down. Can't be heard, that what you're thinking is completely like gaslighting, completely wrong. And so for Black people, we're tired of being told to shh. Don't say that. And you guys don't do that. That's kind of my point. I'm trying to get that word out to the people. Racial gaslighting that's what we're tired of.
His first grooming since quarantine. Look at you little bitch. Hi. Mama misses your little haircuts and you're still fluffy. Yay.
Upon hearing it, it sounds like get rid of the police or don't provide funding for the police or squeeze them so small that we can drown them. That's what defunding sounds like. It's a communication issue. What people who are talking about defunding the police are talking about is shifting some of the funds that we give to police to other experts who can deal with issues that police are often called for, but have no training to deal with. Or another example, I lived in North Carolina last year I lived in North Carolina, and there was a raccoon in my trash can. So my husband goes out with his gun because he's also from North Carolina, and that's what they do, I guess. And so he's like, I need to deal with this raccoon. And so he calls the animal control people. There's a raccoon in my yard. I could shoot it, but it might be rabid. Someone needs to come and get it. Maybe you can tranquilize it and come and get it. and move it to someplace safe for the raccoon. But who shows up? The sheriff. Why did the sheriff show up to deal with the raccoon when there's a whole other agency, animal control, that could have done it, right? And it's probably because animal control doesn't have the resources that it needs, and that if you had given enough resources to animal control, then the police wouldn't have had to come. So we can think of all these kinds of situations where police show up because the people who are really needed aren't funded enough, right? So might we think about changing the funding structure of police departments so that the money that we need to go to the police, go to the police? And then how can we think of public safety in other ways? Is it, do people need food? Do people need housing? Do people need mental health services? If we gave them these things, then would we need to call the police? And if we didn't need to call the police, then would we need to give them the same budget? That's what defunding the police is